I thought long and hard about how I was gonna essentially bring this topic. I knew I had to. I knew I was going to. I'm not gonna lie. Was I looking forward to reacting to this? I wasn't because I know what comes with it. I know it comes the white supremacists coming out the woodworks and talking crazy and saying stick to sports. Sports and politics have always been intertwined. Have always. And the problem is that when somebody says something that you don't like in politics, that's when you want to say stick to sports. It's never when they actually agree with what you're saying. I have never heard somebody that's agreed with what somebody has said has then said stick to sports. I've never heard that. I've never heard that. I have never heard that. It's only the people that vehemently disagree with what you got to say, and their argument to gaslight you is saying stick to sports. Newsflash for you. I'm Miles Johnson, 24 years old, African American man. Went to Morehouse College, class of 2023. Grew up in Philadelphia. My mom's a lawyer. My dad's a pastor. One thing my dad told me that has always stuck with me is that when you have a platform, it is your duty to speak truth to power. So I'm looking at a guy in Saquon Barkley. He's a phenomenal player, the best running back in the world. He had one of the best running back seasons ever, if not the best. He brought me joy as an Eagles fan watching his excellence each and every Sunday. But don't get it twisted. I can like the Eagles and still be disappointed in Saquon Barkley. And if you don't like it, keep scrolling. Keep scrolling. If you don't like it, watch somebody else. Nobody's forcing you. And then when folks comment and say, oh, why are you bringing politics in this? You're just driving up engagement. You're just driving up engagement. That's what you're doing. So you're actually helping the channel get money by, it don't matter if it's a positive comment or a negative comment, that's still bring the money. Ultimately, with Saquon Barkley, I was incredibly disappointed because he showed he ain't have a backbone. He don't have integrity. And we saw after 2020, like what a lot of these corporations did, was say we got to fight against racism and we got to fight against injustices. And then a few years later, you're out here golfing and chit chatting with number 47, who is known for being divisive, for breaking families up, for wrongfully deporting people without due process and defying the Supreme Court, who's arresting judges, who is arresting student protesters, and is threatening to take money and already has from Ivy League universities and plans on doing it to more universities. And above all else, he also said that in terms of deportations, it might not be just for quote unquote illegals. It could be homegrown citizens that his administration deems to be subject to deportation. Let me ask you this, because this notion has really, really bothered me and has really, really messed with my spirit. The notion that politics shouldn't divide us and people can have different opinions. Let me ask you this. If your dad was deported and the administration says, oh, yeah, it was our bad, the Supreme Court says bring him back, they defy what the Supreme Court says. If that is your dad, your brother, your husband, your nephew, whatever the case is, your cousin, are you going to be saying, oh, yeah, politics isn't divisive? It shouldn't divide us? No, the hell you not. So that term, politics shouldn't divide us, why are y'all so up in arms about politics? That is just openly showing your privilege. It is. And it's tone deaf to the times that we're in. It is. I would respect it more if somebody says, yeah, I'm rocking with him. What you gonna say? And I'm not gonna like it, but I can respect at least that you standing by it. So when Saquon Barkley tweets on his Twitter after he spends the whole day chit-chatting up with Donald freaking Trump, he says, LOL, some people are really upset because I played golf. You didn't even read your freaking tweet right or tweet that joint right or write it right. And flew to the White House with the president. Maybe I just respect the office and not a hard concept to understand. Maybe I just respect the office. That's my issue with it. Because you're speaking out of privilege. That's what you are. Because Saquon, if your dad was deported and this administration says, oh yeah, that's our bad. That's our bad. That was an error. The federal court say bring him back. The Supreme Court says bring him back. And he's still deported out the country. Are you saying, oh yeah, I respect the office? I don't think you're going to do that. So that's my issue with the jump. Y'all tone deaf because when stuff doesn't directly apply to you, or if you don't think it applies to you, you don't care. That's why when we have people out here that voted for 47, whether it was veterans, white women, black folk, Hispanics, whoever, and then they realize, oh, I'm not safe. This actually affects me. Then they're up in arms. Then they're up in arms. All these federal workers that lost their job for no reason at all to cut waste, and Doge isn't even close to their goal. Now they're saying, wow, I cannot believe Trump did this. You're only upset because it affects you. We're not in regular times. We're not. And the reason why I'm so passionate about this stuff is because I started my page in 2020, in July 2020. Real talk, MJ. I got 30K plus followers on Instagram. I got 30K plus, actually 35K followers on TikTok. 5K subscribers on YouTube. I ain't on the Joe Rogan level or anything like that, but I got some followers. I got some. There's been times I've been in Philly and people said, oh, real talk, like, you feel me? And so I would be doing a disservice to myself and my community if I see stuff like this and I say nothing. And so regardless of what you do, whether you stay silent or whether you say something, somebody's going to have something to say. That's the reality of it. That's the reality of it. So you got to pick and choose what battles you're going to fight, who you're going to support, who you're going to advocate for. And also keep in mind who you're going to actually piss off. And I'm very, very confident in who I'm representing and who's going to be mad at it. Because it's funny to me that the same folk that was upset with Saquon Barkley, or I'll take that back. It's funny to me, the same folk that said, Saquon Barkley, good stuff, man. You're respecting the Oval Office. Then got mad at Jalen Hurts because he not showing up. It's funny to me, bruh. Just say that you support the man. Just say it. And stop being a coward. Stop being a coward. Just say it. I have never heard somebody say to somebody that they agree with, stick to sports. They only say that when they vehemently disagree with what you say. And so because of that, they have to then say, stick to sports so they don't look like an asshole. You look like an asshole regardless. Regardless. And so I'm going to end this by what I saw with Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts didn't have a scheduling conflict. Well, matter of fact, he did. Matter of fact, Jalen Hurts did. The scheduling conflict that Jalen Hurts had was integrity. The scheduling conflict was not standing with hate. The scheduling conflict was having morals. That's what it was. That's what it was. It's the NFL offseason. Best believe. Best believe. Hey, if bro wanted to be there, he would be there. It's a deliberate choice to say, I have a backbone, I have a spine, and I'm not about to take some photo op with a guy that doesn't align with my values. And I love it. And I love it. That's my quarterback. That's my QB1. Because if you fall for something, matter of fact, I said that joke wrong, but we're going to keep that joke rolling. If you stand for nothing, you will fall for anything. If you stand for nothing, you will fall for anything. And this ties all the way back to my upbringing and my background. I went to Morehouse College. MLK graduated from Morehouse. I'm a member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. The founder of my chapter is the Reverend Dr. Benjamin Elijah Mays. It would be a disservice if I got a platform and I don't speak on it because I'm going to anger a couple of Italians in South Philly. I'm going to call y'all out. Hey, it was some black dudes that was mad too. So it really is not even about the race. It's about your integrity. It's about where do you stand. It's about speaking truth to power regardless of what people might feel. And I encourage you, if you have a platform, if you built something, if you have an opportunity to speak up, to speak up. Because when you look at somebody's legacy, you look at two things. You look at who did they help, you know, when they was coming up, like who were the people that they helped in terms of bringing in that next generation? And did they have integrity? And did they have integrity? I'm going to leave y'all with this last point. And this applies with athletes, entertainers. It don't matter. Anybody. It doesn't matter how fast you run. Your reputation will always, 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 always outrun you. You can work your whole entire life for something and throw it all away because of a decision that probably cost you like 15 seconds, less than a minute. Think about that. We're seeing it all over. Guys in media, in music, athletes, one decision. On the flip side, too, when you do good, that builds up your reputation. So I know that's something that Jalen Hurts is thinking to himself. How do I want to be remembered? Saquon Barkley has a different way of how he wants to be remembered, specifically by the black community and for damn sure by black women. Jalen Hurts recognizes his base too. A big a big group that supports Jalen Hurts is black women. I mean, he got an all female staff. Nicole Lynn, the great Nicole Lynn is his agent. It's a certain brand. He got way more to lose than gain in terms of sitting next to Trump, chit-chatting it up, playing golf, taking a photo op. So when you hear scheduled conflict, that scheduled conflict was integrity. It is Real Talk with MJ, where y'all know I'll always keep it real. We're going to keep speaking truth to power. I'm going to say it again. We are going to keep speaking truth to power. We're going to keep it real, not fake. And if you don't like it, keep scrolling. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend, share with a friend. We are out.